Hey guys, welcome to the Heart of David. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys are doing well on this Christmas Eve. I hope for wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a good time. And I also hope you have a good Christmas too. So this is a really serious topic. I mean, I know the ramifications of this, and if you look at my last video, you're going to say, well, you did this already. Well, I wrote an article and I read it in my last video, but does it 10 times more justice to show the videos that I'm talking about. So what am I talking about? So I'm going to get into a story here, and then I'm going to show you the videos. I'll do a mix of it, but I don't know, is that kind of blurry? I had tape over this, so I don't know if this is like blurry. Let me see for a second. Yeah, I don't know if the pixels on my screen, I don't know if it's my camera or not. In any case, I'm in university for addictions counseling, and I know how to work with people. I know how to help people. I was pretty sure I knew how to help people one-on-one because I had throughout my life for all different reasons. Like I said, I'm also a certified recovery coach, but I'm in addictions counseling to be an addictions counselor, and I don't know, it's probably too early to do what's called a practicum. You go in and you basically shadow an addictions counselor, and you do all the stuff that they do. And in any case, I've tried a few places. No places have called back, and that might be due to because I have pain. In any case, they would have to accept me in Canada with the rules we have here. You can't have bias against people and stuff like that. Makes sense. So I thought, I'll get into that later, and I'll meet my end goal anyways. I'll become an addictions counselor. But I need experience, so I'm going to go and I'm going to volunteer somewhere, and I'll work as much as I can there. And I'll gain experience with people working one-on-one, doing active listening. I already passed my motivational interviewing course already. I got really good grades in that. And in any case, so I decided to go to a nursing home. I thought, this would be a great place to help people and also to gain experience. I would say it's about 50-50. 50-50. And as you can see, this is a Heart of David. This is a Christian channel, so it means a lot more to me to help people. So I don't know if you could balance that out 50-50. I have personal experience dealing with a person with dementia, and now I have about a month and a half worth of dealing with dementia patients. Every single time I go in, I deal with them. The home is about, I would say, 85% dementia patients. Think of a retirement home, nursing home, different things. Nursing home is like end of life care, or you need an extreme amount of care. Before any of this, before me going and volunteering, I just go there and work. I go in to each room, I sit with them for 15 minutes, up to an hour and a half. And they differ day by day. In any case, before I went to this home, this is the backstory of this all, okay? If this is important to you, you'll probably listen to what I'm saying. As you can see in the title, CBD, THC, yes, I do believe it is an absolutely miraculous drug. This is one of those things that it does work. So, I had a friend named Johnny, okay? He would have wanted me to say his name. I don't even know what state he's in now. You say, well, how do you know? Like, it was just a person I met on the internet that I knew for about a year. And he just kind of was getting worse. And then I tried to contact his brother, and I guess he didn't use Facebook or something like that. In any case, he had frontotemporal dementia, which I just looked at a video. I'm going to show you some videos. It turns out Bruce Willis has that, so I understand what he's going to go through. Now, what I did, I felt bad for Johnny. I met him in a chat room for something else. It was actually akathisia, okay? Which antipsychotics have a great risk of causing in the elderly, in someone who's hypersensitive like myself. And if you get acute akathisia in its acute form, true acute form, that is the worst restlessness feeling you can have in this world. There's nothing that compares. There's no pain that compares. It's a different kind of pain. It's a nervous system restless pain. In any case, that's how I met him, in that room, because he had been given an antipsychotic and he had an akathetic reaction. So I started speaking to him, and over some time he started to tell me what was wrong with him. He was ashamed to tell me. Pick's disease, frontotemporal dementia, FTD. Our conversations were clear enough. He never wanted to speak on the phone because he was in a state that he was very isolated. He didn't want to. So I spent a lot of time with him on Messenger. I'd send him messages. I'd make little videos for him and stuff to keep him busy, and he said that it really helped. So we were searching of ways, and by the way, when he changed his diet, I forget what the name of the diet is, but there's a diet out there where you turn to fats instead of meats, I think it is. You can look this up. You take away the carbs like sugars and stuff like that, and it changed him. That was just the diet, and I noticed it. Sometimes the messaging would be, a lot of spelling mistakes and like stuff that would offend me. Not purposely. Like if, he saw that I had a thin face, he'd call me like pencil face or something, which he did. Like I said, it was one day to the next. I started to investigate for him because it's just in my nature. My dad is a diagnostician, an epidemiologist, and so it just runs in my blood. And so I started to research, and I came across THC and CBD. Then I started to search for videos when I saw the promise of it, and I was blown away, absolutely blown away. And Johnny didn't know about it. So he was probably 3 years in anyways, and he was 29 years old. So I told him about this, and he wanted to get 100% THC, which he did later. I told him not to do it. That's dangerous. You're going to get sick. He got sick. He got a fever. He got horrible. I didn't see him for like 2 to 3 days because of that, and he came back and he said, "You're right." But a little capsule of CBD with low, 0.7% or 0.07% THC. Give it to your loved one with dementia, your person in the home, whatever. I don't have a clue in the world why. I have one clue. Why these are not given to every single dementia patient, and I know what people are going to say to me already. They'll get combative. We have to give them something immediately. This is what the nurses and doctors would say. They don't understand. And every time a doctor witnesses what happens in front of them when given CBD or THC, you can try one or the other or both. And there's varying ratios, obviously, that they become believers immediately. So why isn't it? My guess is because Big Pharma makes a massive amount of money from antipsychotics for all different reasons. As I said in my last video, I was given it against my will. When I would alcohol episodes, I would get aggressive when I was young, and then I'd find myself waking up in the hospital with acute akathisia. I'm ashamed of that, but that's past. So I have an allergy to that, for sure. And what can happen is permanent movement disorders. You ever walk around these nursing homes and people will have their jaws wide open and they're like that permanently? I know of several right now. It looks scary. It's because of, it could be a bunch of things. It could be their cranial nerve disorder. It could be an attack on their nervous system. So it could be the cranial nerves, their nervous system, or the antipsychotics that are being given. And so the question is, and I understand why they give antipsychotics, but to any place, which some places do, you know it, out of convenience, you should never do that. Out of your convenience, you should never do that to a patient. If they're combative and they're fighting and that kind of thing, I understand. And they give that with a shot of also, so if they give you haloperidol, these are brain disabling medications. You're going to see through the first video that one of them destroyed a person's life in their worst point in life. Can you imagine being in your worst point? Confused, agitated, delusions, paranoia, restlessness, and then all of a sudden someone gives you something that compounds it. And that's a point where doctors look and they're like, oh, give them more because they're like this. That's how situations get out of control with pain medications. With medications like that. Very, very dangerous. Not at all uncommon in psychiatry. Polypharmacy. So before I play this, I don't mean to bore the heck out of you, but this is very important information. Johnny jumped right on the chance. He bought CBD, he tried it, and it worked. I'm telling you, within 45 minutes to an hour, I'll tell you the difference. We didn't speak. I'd send him messages. I had no problem doing that, like voice messages. His typing became clear. And he was putting sentences together so much better. And he was really happy about it. And he went overboard. As you can see, he thought, oh, if it gets stronger, it must be better. But that wasn't the case, and I knew it, and I warned him. When he went and got the 100% THC, anyone taking 100% THC, that's not good. He disappeared for 2 days, probably in the neighborhoods, found in the neighborhood somewhere. But he said he had a big fever. He was sick. This is the very last thing I'm saying here. And I will comment on this. I'll find as many videos as I can that will convince you. These are people in the depths of dementia, so you'll see for yourself. And what I'm dealing with are people with immense fear. People, as a person I'm dealing with who knows what's going on. She understands everything I'm saying, even the intricate things. Things hard to understand. Like I'm not saying I talk, like regular people would talk, right? She understands that but can't express herself, confused, disoriented. all those things. You see the fear. It's like, so what I did is I made not a recommendation. I said, I'm a volunteer. I've been there for about a month and a half. I wrote an email that said, if you're going to advocate for anyone in here, you're going to have to go through us, or we're going to have to let you go. I don't mean like they were angry at me or anything, but I'm trying to advocate for people on their behalf. So they said, you have to go through us. Don't go outside to anyone else. They're just warning me. So I wrote them an email from my heart saying, is it possible that I could speak to the physician of this place? And it didn't go over well. I said, that's fine. I will not step on toes any longer. So, but I'm thinking about going to every home but this one that I'm at to try and do that. So, maybe bring the videos, show the videos. Do you want to see your loved one like this? Let's just take a look. And listen, this is what I'm saying, okay? I'm not saying it's going to take them out of dementia. That's not what I'm claiming. They may get a lot of memories back, but it's not truly getting... Well, actually, I don't know. You say, well, what do you mean they're getting their memories back? They were the memories that were always there, but they just were not retrievable. Why? Because they were so agitated and irritable, confused and delirium, right? So when you're in that, you can't express yourself. So if you give them CBD with a low amount of THC or THC capsule, their agitation, anxiety, and irritability goes down, and you don't know what you're going to get, but you'll see, you'll get some sort of state of calm. Let's watch. This is a news channel, guys. This isn't just a video. This is a news channel.
Some people are also turning to cannabis to treat dementia and Alzheimer's, but the drug is untested. In fact, the federal government calls it illegal, but only on 5. Some children and their aging parents tell.
I don't know what year this is. I'm not going to look right now, but
Betty, it's a game changer.
Oh, okay.
A few times a day, 92-year-old Lucy Hansen takes a little capsule. In it, medical marijuana.
They call it my happy pill. Everybody, and I call it my happy pill.
Not too long ago, Lucy was confused, falling down and speaking gibberish. Her daughter brought her to a neurologist.
And they came back with a diagnosis of advanced dementia. We thought we'd only have her maybe for another 6 months.
Enter Eloise Thiessen, a nurse practitioner specializing in cannabis medicine.
Seniors are the fastest growing demographic of cannabis users.
She weaned Lucy off of some medications and then put her on CBD. CBD is a non-intoxicating form of cannabis derived from hemp.
I think Lucy's had one of the most dramatic responses with the use of cannabis.
I've got my mom back.
I know it sounds crazy, but it seems as if I was given back a life.
KPIX5 has spoken to several different caregivers.
you heard what they said,
recount
advanced
similar
dementia she had.
experiences.
I would give her a couple of hits of cannabis off a little glass pipe.
Steve D'Angelo heads up Harborside, a medical cannabis dispensary. His late mother had Alzheimer's, which is incurable. He says cannabis helped her.
She would become less physically agitated.
It was really an overnight miracle.
Basil and Faraj Shaban's mother, Tagreed, was also diagnosed with Alzheimer's. As her symptoms worsened, doctors put her on antipsychotic drugs.
She was already in a very fragile state, and these drugs came in and they literally destroyed her, whatever she had left of her.
The brothers convinced family members to let them try CBD. Their mother's personality returned. Her agitation and insomnia disappeared.
We were so relieved that she would finally be able to sleep.
Tagreed is off antipsychotics. Her doctors are curious.
They're consulting with us to try to understand
what it is that we did and how they can learn from it and apply it in their own practice.
Now, an intriguing study suggests cannabis may actually protect the brain.
We were looking at botanicals.
Scientist Dave Schubert works at the Salk Institute in La Jolla. He studies diseases like Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's is the only one where there's absolutely no reasonable therapy.
In a dish, Schubert grew nerve cells taken from a human brain. They were altered to produce high levels of a toxic protein linked to Alzheimer's. The protein, amyloid beta, builds up within the neuron, causing inflammation and killing it.
So inflammation is a major driving force.
Schubert found cannabis cleared away the toxic protein. It stopped the inflammation and allowed the brain cells to survive.
Wow.
It's a very important discovery.
Dr. Michael Weiner is an Alzheimer's researcher at the SFVA Medical Center.
This is a very promising area of research, and it should be explored.
Guys, these are top people in the field saying this. So it's not just me. I didn't know about these studies. I didn't know about anything. I had my friend. I started to do a bit of research. I'm like, this looks very promising. And I saw it firsthand. So.
In humans. Until then,
People shouldn't try to take marijuana for some medical benefit that's not proven.
the problem? Marijuana remains illegal under federal law, making it tough to study. Schubert believes that slowed down progress.
It slowed it down a tremendous amount.
Lucy's daughter Tanya is clear.
If we had waited for it to be carefully studied, my mom would be dead.
As for Lucy,
Don't you dare take it away from me.
in Pleasant Hill, Betty Yu, KPIX 5.
A treatment for Alzheimer's disease remains elusive, and so does an effective way of dealing with some of its worst symptoms, like agitation and aggression.
Memory loss to more difficult symptoms like agitation.
You heard what the scientist said. I don't know if it was a scientist researcher. I forget what they said he was, but he said, you don't take it for medical benefit. That's what. Listen, I don't know how old this is. It could be 10 years old. It could be 13 years old. But I don't endorse marijuana. CBD is okay. I don't endorse it because I see what it does people psychologically in the long run. This is quality of life. He meant benefit, right? Like people taking it all the time for like recreational stuff. But people who are in a tremendous amount of pain and stuff like this. And they're talking about those amyloid plaques. Those amyloid plaques, I forget what they are, like tangles or something. Don't take me for that, but they choke out parts, I don't know, of your cell or something. And what they're saying is the anti-inflammatory properties of marijuana, anyways, you already know, you've already heard, is it the miracle drug? For some things it is. For this, it sure appears so. I think it's uniform. I do think this is a uniform thing. In dementia, Alzheimer's is the biggest cause of dementia. There are other causes of dementia, like vascular and those types of things.
A treatment for Alzheimer's disease remains elusive, and so does an effective way of dealing with some of its worst symptoms, like agitation and aggression. But as Connecting Point's Arun Roth reports, one family in Eastern Mass found medical marijuana helped significantly. Now they're funding a study to determine if it could work for others.
Greg Spear's dad, Alex, lived an amazing life.
He was a prisoner of war during World War II. He fought for the Dutch underground army and was captured at basically 14 and a half, 15 years old, and spent 3 years in the concentration camps. He survived because he learned to be a watchmaker. He used to fix watches for the German soldiers in exchange for food and water.
After the war, Alex Spear turned from the nightmare of the Holocaust to the dream of America, bringing nothing but that skill with watches to start a jewelry store, raising a family, and then making his fortune in real estate.
It was a life well lived.
I want you to remember what I said at the beginning of this video. Of that nursing home, 85% of 160 patients were a state of dementia of some kind. This is an epidemic, a pandemic. So pandemic, it's all over every continent. Never been like this. It's likely because of the foods, new foods, pesticides, all those things. Maybe things in jet fuel, who knows? Air and foods. Air, foods, water. In any case, it's happening, and it's sad. There's more than you think. So why the bureaucracy? And then the other thing is, how would Big Pharma, they make so much in antipsychotics. 2013, go look at the top selling drug in 2013. I'll blow your mind. What do you think it was? An antipsychotic beat out everything. What do you mean an antipsychotic beat out every drug? Yes, it did. At like $13.5 billion or something like that. Like, they're not going to give up easy, the drug companies. There's an answer right here. I don't mean to the disease. I mean to quality of life.
Alzheimer's disease saw to that. Alex Spear spent the last year of his life in rapid decline, progressing quickly from memory loss to more difficult symptoms like agitation and aggression, and the delusion that he was reliving the nightmare of the concentration camp.
It was just horrible to see those sort of memories that had been suppressed his entire life coming back.
When nothing else worked, a family member suggested trying medical marijuana.
The first night that we gave it to him was the first night that he slept through the night in I'd say weeks. It was remarkable. You know, whatever time we had with him, you know, with a significant dementia patient, if you get the glimmer of hope every once in a while to see that, you know, your loved one is still around is really a special time.
The family's experience was of particular interest to Dr. Brent Forrester, who had completed a study showing the active ingredient in marijuana seemed to reduce agitation in a small group of dementia patients.
The FDA, to this day, has never approved a single medication to treat any of the behavioral symptoms of dementia. Any medicine we would use to help calm or reduce those symptoms is all off-label.
And when it comes to marijuana, there's no federal funding for medical research.
I kind of felt it was like a trial and error, with my father being kind of like the human guinea pig.
But long before he got sick, Alex Spear started a charitable foundation that supports medical research. The Spear Family Foundation is now funding a study Dr. Forrester will design that will explore marijuana as a treatment for the behavioral effects of dementia.
My father kind of lived his life, and one of his little mottos was, I want to leave the world a better place than I found it.
Between the Holocaust and Alzheimer's, life took a lot away from Alex Spear, but even in death, he's found a way to give a lot back.
Yeah, I could see the tattooed concentration camp on his arm there. I'm going to move you to a dramatic video of a Down syndrome patient given with dementia, given, I forget which one it is, but let's take a look. Okay, this kind of moves quick, so, and there's another video too. So let's look at this. CBD reverses dementia, or so they're saying. It's, I don't know. I'm not going to speak to the case. So, a case study of dementia reversal using cannabinoids from industrial hemp and a woman with trisomy 21. I don't know what trisomy means. I would have to look that up. Never heard of it before. A 62-year-old woman with Down syndrome, or I guess that's the name. Trisomy 21, was in good health with competent self-care skills. She lived with her sister, taking no medication. Her functional capacity was of a 6-year-old. 2012. Teresa strums banjo. taps foot in rhythm and sings with vocals. She appears to be enjoying herself. I don't know if this is with dementia or not. Onset of dementia. 2 years later, Teresa rapidly develops dementia. December 2016 video shows. Okay, so that's so that's 4 years later since 2012, or 2 years after she develops dementia. In 2016, video shows oppositional and violent behavior along with loss of self-care functions. I'm not showing you mild cases, guys. Uncooperative, blank facial appearance, shouting, fist clenching.
Get it!
I've had patients do that. So later, I don't know, like 6 months later, if that's what it was, in 2016, cannabinoid or cannabidol skin cream initiated, 5 milligrams BID topically. Response was immediate. This was topical. Huh. I think that'd be much less powerful. Video at 4 weeks. Teresa responds after morning wake-up greeting, replies, "I love you," and smiles. Skin cream formulated with elixinol, 3600 CBD tincture. Listen, guys, there's so many formulations out there. So 10 milligrams per milliliter.
I love you.
Look at that.
That's wonderful. I love you.
You're going to tell me so I'm just going to call it cannabinoid because that's what it is, treatment. It's February 2017 video. So it's just 1 month, 2 months later. Teresa recovers a playful ritual gesture that last expressed over 18 months ago. Can you keep a secret? Zips lips and tosses key.
Secret. Secret. Throw it away.
That's great.
Dramatic response and return to cooperative, kind, loving, gentle. Teresa continues to improve on twice daily topical applications of CBD cream. If you can get away with that, then why not? For more information, contact. Okay, so now I think this woman is a bit pessimistic, but she's right though, and this is what I'm saying, that it doesn't cure it, but obviously she doesn't speak in this about those amyloid plaques in the brain, how it's like suppressing the inflammation, so you're whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. So it doesn't get choked out. You know, I'm well aware I have adhesive arachnoiditis, so I know what it's like to have my nerves choked out. So I understand that. By scar tissue. What I am trying to explain to you is, like, you never know how far along they really are. I guess maybe until you give them a cannabinoid. So you give it to them, the agitation is brought low, the anxiety, maybe some confusion and whatever else they're going through, and then they're left at some type of baseline. And obviously, you know, CBD and THC relaxes a person. We all know this, especially when you're in deep distress and it's the only thing that you have that's going to help. And so it brings you down to a base level and you're like, wow, like how did this happen? Like, look at the way they're acting now. Look at they remember this or stuff like that. And I'm not saying you could give it to them and they'll appear much more relaxed and lucid, but they still may not talk, right? You don't know how far along. I'll play this anyways, and then I'll end the video. There is no reason, and she says also here, you know, watch out for THC for being psychotic, but the risk benefit is massive, and they're already psychotic. I don't think it's going to make it worse. It's going to calm them down if they're in that state. It's the level of THC that you have to be careful of.
This cures dementia. I've often read that cannabis cures dementia. Well, you know, if it did, then no one in San Francisco would be demented. But it can calm down the irritability for some folks, mainly the CBD. The THC part of it can make people psychotic, so you got to be careful. So
My
it doesn't
friend
cure
Johnny,
dementia,
remember?
but for some folks it can help with appetite.
I use CBD. I suffer with very severe pain in my legs, in my whole body, but adhesive arachnoiditis, and I can't get to sleep without CBD. It is very low THC. It's 0.07%. Think about that. That's super low. Just get a low ratio. Just get the low THC ratio that you can get, and then you'll see. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. My goal is to take people out of a state of agitation, irritability, and all the confusion and delirium that they may feel. Their delirium may go down because they're more relaxed. God bless.